This is Curious Brainfarts.
Hello, Louise.
Hello, Paul. How are you, my darling?
Marvellously, splendidly marvellous, thank you. And how are you on this fine Thursday?
Do you know what? I'm crack-a-lacking. I am loving life. I am, all is well, basically. I'm trying to think of all the superlatives, but the bottom line is I'm in good shape. Not physically, obviously, but,
Speak for yourself, I'm in amazing shape.
I'm 52. My knees creak. I can't get up without making that oof kind of sound. The kind of, my hips are creaky.
They don't lie, by the way.
No.
Shakira was onto something.
She really was, because mine are not lying. They are giving me a full and frank bit of feedback there.
Right, okay. I always think of it as turning the radio up. Like the older you get, like driving a car, when it's brand new, it's all like quiet and amazing. And then as it gets older, things start to creak and make noises and
your
all that
pistons
sort of stuff.
start knocking.
As it were. Oh, nothing worse than a knocking piston. And
Tell me about it.
Turn the radio up. When you turn the radio up, then it's all good.
Yes, it's a very, very good strategy. So you're basically saying ignore it.
Yeah.
And distract from it.
Basically.
Roger that.
Just keep turning the radio up.
You're good at this coaching, Lark, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Do you know what? It's the creakiness of the knees is offset by the wisdom of the years, right? So we're not cross about it.
There you go. Same thing. Sounds good.
So, what shall we flap our gummage about today?
I think we should just do some button bashing.
Go.
All right. Fine. Here we go.
Random theme generator. Random theme generator.
Well, this is a turn up for the books.
Is it indeed?
Yeah, it is.
I suppose it depends what books you're reading.
Yes. And this is a very short book because it's only got one word written on it.
Oh.
In the words of Madonna, holidays, it could be so fine. So the word is holidays.
Nice.
So I'm being semi-squashed by the dog. Roscoe.
Paul's got a dog's rear end in his armpit.
Oh. I think he just dropped his ball.
That's not a euphemism. It's a literal thing that's just happened.
It's not something Nigel can do either.
No, Nigel is, as we know, without testicles at this time.
At this time, it's not like that time is going to change. It's not like he's left them somewhere.
Listen, Paul, he's sat right next to me. We're not making a big deal out of it. Being
Roger.
Quite casual.
Yeah. Cash. Yeah, I love that. Casual castration.
That's the vibe, certainly, we've tried to go with in this house.
Right. Love that. Love that. From a distance. So, holidays. Or, as the Americans would say, vacation.
Vacation.
Because they mean something different by holidays. Thank you, Roscoe. That was so lovely. Now he's coming back again. Avec the ball. I've just been away for a couple of days and he's like, won't leave me alone.
You've been on holiday.
An extended period of leisure and recreation, especially one spent away from home or in travelling. A day of festivity or recreation when no work is done. And spend a holiday in a specific place. He is holidaying in Italy.
Right, so, okay.
So I spent the summer holidays on a farm. So an extended period of leisure and recreation. Or it could be a day of festivity or recreation when no work is done.
When did holidays start?
Ah, yes, that's interesting. Because I was watching something. Oh, that's right. It was a documentary, called Paddington 3.
Right, okay.
I'm sure it was. Yes, it
I haven't
was.
seen it. No spoilers, I haven't seen it.
Okay. So that's that.
Oh, your anecdote's over. No, okay, tell your story. I can cope.
Yes, you can cope because, I mean, it was okay. Basically saying, why not give the workers paid holidays? Because it will make them feel better. And it became a legal right for workers in 1939.
Is that all?
Yeah, and wait for it, by 1975, most workers had 2 weeks or more paid holiday.
Christ. Most being the key word there.
That is molto interessante. So maybe that aligns with Paddington in Peru. That's it. That's the third one.
So you are able to go on holiday, you just don't get paid for it.
Yeah. Yeah, yes.
Paul has been on holiday, but maybe you need a few more days of holiday, Paul.
Yes, I do. I absolutely do, and I'd love to be paid for that. Thank you.
See, that's very interesting because if you are in a financial situation which is a bit more hand to mouth, and you don't get paid for your holidays because you are self-employed in some way, then holidays become something you don't do, I would imagine.
And interestingly, according to the World Authority on Everything, Wikipedia, the word holiday comes from the Old English of holy day.
Yeah.
So it was only referred to for special religious days.
Well, you have that expression, don't you? High days and holidays.
Oh, yeah.
And that refers to, I don't know, high church, high something. You're not physically high up, I don't think.
No,
although you might be.
You could be, and you could also be smacked off your face on something.
Yes.
So you could have, you have high days, and then you're like, right, let's go for a holiday now.
Yes, yes, indeed. So I was just talking to somebody today, and they were saying how they used to work in corporate land, and there was this expectation that you would be contactable, and that you would take your laptop on holiday with you and your phone, and that they were reflecting that now they wouldn't ever stand for that, but in that context it seemed, in inverted commas, normal to do that. So the extent to which you ever stop work, fully put it down, was zero, even though you did get some paid holiday. So, and I always find that it really interesting. People go, oh, I'm rushed off my feet, getting ready to go away on holiday, because I've got to clear everything and create some space for me not to be here. And then they get back, and then they've got 500 emails. They've only been away for a week. It's like, God, Christ, is it ever worth it?
Yeah, it's a good question. It is a good question. And there's, I think, this culture around, oh, it's good to be always on, to be always doing something, oh yes, I'm so busy and important, or the business needs whatever. I've got to take my laptop with me. I'm going to have to do some work while I'm away. It's like, that's not really kind of a badge of honour. That's quite depressing. And it's a toxic stance. Maybe toxic is too strong, maybe not, on how we can relate to another episode we did on rest. So, the extent to which I can properly rest and switch off on my holiday, which is by the definition a break from work, where no work is done. Kind of interesting.
And it depends what you mean by work as well, because for the people for whom some or all of their work is unpaid because they work in the home.
Yep.
There is holiday is only ever partial, I think.
And I guess it does, that expression, a change is as good as a rest. I think that also comes into play, because I don't find it as draining, like cooking dinner or whatever, when I'm somewhere else. It's not as because there is that sort of novelty aspect to it. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. So what is your favourite thing to do on holiday? If you could choose anything.
I think my all-time favourite holidays have been the family holidays that we've done. The big family holidays when all 26 of us are staying somewhere together. That is a mission. And things have changed now. Mum and Dad, well, certainly Dad wouldn't be able to join us. Those have been the best holidays for me. Really, really great. Because they remind me of the wholesome things that we did when we were growing up with caravanning and stuff, because it was a bit more rustic. And the fact that all the siblings and the cousins are together, we eat together, we prepare food together, we laugh together and play games, and I just absolutely love those holidays. Don't get me wrong, they're tiring because there's a lot of work, and I absolutely love those holidays when we're all together.
Yeah, really beautiful experiences, lots of lovely memories. And for a time, we've paused them for the time being for various reasons. It's challenging in our family dynamic for those things to happen at the moment. But, there are people who, you're not on holiday if you're in the UK. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to get on a plane and go somewhere.
Yes.
I like the idea of being on holiday at home, even.
Yeah, it is interesting, because I would say the vast majority of my holidays throughout my life have been in the UK. Far outweigh abroad. And for me, it is, that new place, exploring something different, being somewhere new. I love that. So what's your favourite thing to do on your holiday, Bobs?
Well, it does very much depend. I don't really mind, if I'm honest. It depends. I think the key thing is to be with the right people. And if you're with the right people, it doesn't matter where you are, and it doesn't matter what the weather's like, and it doesn't matter what you do. And those things are lovely. But, for me, I do like to have a body of water. I don't care if that's a lake or the sea.
A puddle?
Or a swimming pool. A puddle is less effective for swimming, really, is all I'm thinking. I do...
Fine.
I do like to read my book. I do like to... I'm a person of very simple pleasures. I don't like Well, it's not I don't like it, but I don't in any way need palatial luxury or exotic locations. I'm not saying I wouldn't go to them. It's just that
Yeah.
it's not. Yeah, so some chilling out, some great people, some nice food, and that can happen basically anywhere.
Yeah. I've also noticed that the last episode, I believe, was camping.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so. And now we've spat out holidays. It's like, ooh.
Do you think the RTD is trying to tell you to go on a camping holiday, Paul?
Yeah, go away. All right, fine.
Go on holiday.
Mm-hmm. No,
Yeah,
do
well,
carry on.
I think, it's very, very interesting because we can build ourselves up to, I'm going away
Yeah.
for 2 weeks to, I don't know, Tuscany, and I mean, fabulous. Who would say no to that? But then what are you doing for the other 50 weeks of the year? So this concept of build in a holiday into every single day. Like the concept of a micro holiday, so that we don't just wait to have fun. I'm not saying people do this, but the framing of a holiday implies it's occasional and can only happen a few times a year. How would it be if we had holiday time every day?
How might one go about that?
Well, what are you have to know what you want, what a holiday means to you, and then build some of that in. And I guess the whole point of a holiday is it's your leisure time, but in an extended form.
Yes.
So is retirement then just one long holiday? Is that what we're saying?
Basically, I think that's exactly what we're saying.
Are we?
Which is why pensioners are so disrespected, because they're on holiday all the time. I mean, they've got access to a lot more ice cream dispensaries.
Right.
At a higher frequency.
I mean, what the hell?
Yeah. So, a waffle cone 2 scoop, they could just easily go get one. Whereas us working folk, it's much harder.
It's nigh on impossible. The number of times I wanted to go and get a 2 scoop waffle cone, Paul.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, I did get a 2 scoop. Oh no, it was a 1 scoop waffle cone the other day.
Was it? Actually, I had a 2 scoop one the other day. It's probably, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, something like that. It was rather lovely.
Yeah, mine was, what flavour was ice cream? You can only have one flavour for the rest of your life. What flavour will you have?
Rum and raisin. Rum and raisin is banging.
It is the rankest flavour of ice cream there is.
I think that's rude. And only your opinion.
I can give no other opinion than my own.
Yeah, you're imposing it quite forcefully. So what flavour's yours then?
Well, I would have to say it would either be something to do with... Well, okay, there are 3.
Uh-oh.
And you could smash them together into one.
No, you can only have one.
Flavour. So something like black currants and cream, or something with stem ginger in it, or something with honeycomb in it.
Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, ice creams, do you know, they actually make me feel a little bit nervous when you see a young kid with an ice cream and they're sort of not really paying attention and they're dodging around with it, and then you're just waiting for the inevitable splat as it falls off the cone and hits the floor.
Yeah, we've all had ice cream in the sand. It's not fun.
It's just devastating for the kid who's so gutted, and obviously the parents have just paid like ice creams have gone through the roof, by the way. This is ridiculous behaviour. Like, it is well expensive. A single scoop at this place we were at was something like £4. You're like, pardon? So you can imagine you've just spent, I don't know, however much money on a load of ice creams, and then the kids, oh no, have a fatal accident with...
Nightmare.
Yeah.
That's why when Felix was young, I would encourage him to have one of those paper cup things.
Yeah.
Not a cone, because you're de-icing. You're disaster.
Quite literally.
So what we're saying is ice creams are synonymous with holidays.
As is... Oh, saw this interesting thing. It makes a lot of sand to make a beach. Only takes a little bit of sand to ruin a sandwich.
Now, Paul, dear listeners, is not a lover of a sandy beach. He is a hater. He cannot stand it. He literally gets in a right old state if they get sand in his car, sand in his sandwiches, sand in his ice cream.
I used to be really bad like that. I'm actually much, much better.
Have you chilled it down?
Well, I'm now open to walking barefoot on the beach.
Wow, really?
And I am very, what's the word? Resigned to the fact that the car will get covered in sand forever. And so, okay, just don't shake your feet off in it. At least, make an attempt to not get sand everywhere. And it's going to end up in there no matter what, because it gets blooming everywhere. So, yeah, sandy beach is great.
For me, swimming is part of a holiday. Would it be a holiday without the opportunity to plunge myself into a body of water? It would be. I might be in a desert, right? So
I'm just trying to think. Last family holiday we did when we stayed in, what was it? Whose country retreat?
It was Francis Bacon's hunting lodge. Drake Bacon's.
Whatever, yeah. So Francis Drake, yeah. It was his old hunting lodge. Sounds like we're well posh. We kind of are, so...
We just need a big house if everyone's there.
Did that have a body of water? That didn't have a pool, did it?
No, but we did go to the beach, and I went into the sea.
Aye.
With kids.
Amazing. I stood on the side.
You did, very much, yes.
Yeah.
We went into a pebbly beach.
Was that the one where you had to walk down like the storm walls or whatever to get down onto the beach? Or was that the one where the sunroof went pop on Bernard's car?
Well, they were both in the same holiday.
They were in the same holiday, yes.
I think so, yeah.
There were two different beaches, though.
Yeah, and me and...
Mrs. Jones?
Your wife took the children and our sister Rachel. We took all the kids in the water, the little ones, because they were gagging to go in.
I'm pretty sure that was the second one where there was that high sea wall.
Yeah, I think
you had to walk down, and afterwards we all had fish and chips.
That's right, and we had some bodyboards and...
Yeah, what was that called, that place?
I don't know. Oh, yes, it had the fun fair.
That's right. Come on, Louise. What's it called? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I think it begins with D. Dawlish.
Durdledore.
Was it Durdledore or Dawlish?
It's neither of those.
Are you sure?
It's not Dawlish.
Well, I don't know. Why isn't it? Why is that so laughable? Oh, here we
Devon
go.
Fun Fair.
Let's listen to Louise typing on a
Places.
computer.
Yeah. Shut it.
It's not my fault you can't hear it.
I don't know where it was.
She is balmy.
This isn't the best content for our listeners, is it?
No, this is ideal for radio.
As we talk about a holiday they weren't on to a place they don't know.
That we can't remember. For more details, write in to curiousbrainfarts@gmail.com.
But if you think about it, Paul, right? If you're going to go somewhere on holiday, almost certainly there'll be water, right? Because you'll be in the Lake District. We live on a small island. There's beaches everywhere. If you go abroad, there'll be a pool, will there not? Or some sea? Or both?
Mm.
There will be ice cream.
Mm. There will be sun cream as well.
So
the smell of sun cream always makes you think of holidays.
Coconutty.
I don't know.
Aloe vera. There'll be plenty of sunburn.
Mm.
So holidays do have these things about them.
And
these features.
I think although you can have a busy holiday, like a packed agenda or whatever, it does have a more relaxed nature to it. There isn't like the stress or the pressure to,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking city break.
Mm.
Let's say you go somewhere like Rome and you go in the summertime. It's frigging boiling.
Mm.
It's frigging crowded. And there isn't a body of water nearby.
There is not.
But there is plenty of gelato.
And there's Trevi Fountain.
Fairsies.
There are actually a few posh fountains which they patrol because you're not meant to be in them.
I take it back. There is water. There is ice cream.
Yeah.
Boom.
And a lovely friend of mine was in Rome, actually, for a lovely little break the week before Easter, just before Pope Francis died.
Oh.
So, which was very nice. And he was just reflecting on how lovely it was to have the break. And it felt a bit more meaningful, it being so close to Pope Francis dying. So, yeah, it was... And he had a lovely time. Like, he was actually, interestingly, so short holiday, he was saying that him and the family, it was like a culture fest for the kids. They were doing so many different things, seeing so many sights and, all the history associated with that place.
Incredible.
That was also a bit tiring. So they had to fit in a couple of, let's just chill for a bit, like mooch and have an ice cream, for example.
Yeah, but there's only I don't know about you, but there's only so much of that I can do. So if we let's take Rome as an example, but it could be any city. You've got history, architecture, things to see,
cuisine,
etc. But there's, there might be art galleries, there might be all sorts of things to look at. But at a certain point, I'm full up of all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I can't. You could put then the most beautiful thing in front of me. I'd be like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You do need then to decompress, to just go, oh yeah, let's just sit on this terrace, drink a cup of coffee, or if you've got kids, just do something chill. Watch a bit of telly. I don't know, something. Because you can't, you see these itineraries, don't you, of people who do a tour of Europe in 15 days. I'm like, what the hell? You are hauling ass to get round all these places.
Yeah, for some people that is their holiday, which is groovy. Love that for them.
Yeah.
I'll meet them at the bars.
Yeah, totes. Because actually, when you think about what's really fun, so I went on holiday to Italy and Airbnb, and the woman, she didn't speak English really, so she brought this other lady along who did speak English, and it turned out that there was a harvest festival type thing. And it was these neighbouring villages, and this woman, she was renowned for her lasagna, and they were like, you must come and you must taste it. So we went, and you just paid some money, it was in the local school, and there were all these benches, and the community were just doing it.
Yeah.
And you got bottles of wine, and everyone had lasagna. And I asked for the children's dish, which was pasta with tomato sauce, because I'm vegetarian. And the guy serving the food, he went, "You're not eating that. That's for children." And he took it away, gave me lasagna. He went, "You eat that," but in Italian. So
Yeah.
I'm translating. And then in the village square, there was all this dancing afterwards, and
Lovely.
it was just delightful. For me, especially when we're abroad and experiencing different cultures and things, far more than the beautiful sights, it's having these moments where you get to experience their culture or their way of being. That's very, very precious.
It is. And I think that's, also part of some of the attraction of, for certain people, they want to go off the beaten track, so they don't want to go where all the tourists hang out. They want to go to where the locals hang out, and finding those spots where you can have those kind of experiences that you can't get on a brochure. It's not a planned trip or something like this. I love that sort of stuff.
Samesies.
It gives me much more of an insight into the place I'm going to.
So, Paul, just to round off then, you can go anywhere in the world you want. Where would you go?
Oh, dear. How can you round off with something like that? I'm going to do what you did. Well, it very much depends.
On what?
On a lot of things, what sort of holiday I'd like to have. I also think that lots of places in the UK are stunningly beautiful. I want to go to all sorts of places, to be honest. So
in the UK, I would definitely want to go to the Highlands and Islands of Scotland. I have not done that. Or, Mull and the inner and outer Hebrides, basically. I would love to go there.
Yeah.
And do a little island hopping, basically.
Yeah. Via the distilleries would be great.
And then outside of the UK, I would love to go to Bhutan, which is a Buddhist kingdom in Asia, and they only let a certain very small number of tourists in every year. So their culture is preserved and etc. So I'd love to go there.
Molto interessante.
Yes.
I think there's one place, I remember there was a programme called the Holiday Programme. And do you remember Jill Dando? She tragically got murdered on her doorstep or something.
Oh, yes, I do remember
the presenter from... Anyway, and this holiday programme, they did one episode where they got... I think it was the Nick guy who took over. I can't think of his surname. Anyway, got a picnic helicopter that flew him up to the top of this point in New Zealand, and he's a bit of at the time was a bit of a manly man kind of thing, not very emotionally connected, let's say. Nick Knowles, that's his name, and they dropped him off on the top of this mountain. And you have a picnic and your champagne, and you've got like an aviation radio so that you can call them back because they're bloody disappear. Just on top of this mountain. He had tears in his eyes just looking. He couldn't speak. And it was just so awe-inspiringly beautiful. And the only thing I've had with that, I would say, is looking at some of the gorgeous scenery in Wales, for example. And being in those valleys, you're just like, oh my gosh, absolutely gorgeous. So I wouldn't mind going to New Zealand. I want to go to lots of places, though. I want to do lots of Latin America and Asia. Yeah,
and the reality is, there are some people who just go around the world collecting, I've been here, I've been here, I've been here. I think, I don't know. There's an internal holiday to be had as well as an external one.
Yes.
So
definitely, because if you think about it, the people we've mentioned, some of these people I think before, who are like these digital natives who are just working anywhere that they want, literally
digital nomads. You mean?
That's what I said. Yeah. And began with N, and yes, they're all over the show. You know, there's no one country that they stop at, and they're travelling everywhere. So I guess they're sort of mixing holiday and work all at the same time.
Yeah, 100%. There's this woman I know. She's done that. She's rented out her house or sold her house in the UK, and her son have gone to, I think they're in Vietnam at the moment, and there's a whole community of people who live in this more nomadic way and educate their children in groups and hire tutors and different things, and at the same time get to travel the world with their kids and see all these incredible things. And it requires real bravery. You have to break free of some of the structures that hold us in place.
Yeah.
But she's taken that brave step.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So that was us wrapping up holidays for the next sort of 4 and 5 minutes. You're welcome.
What's on your holiday bucket list? You know.
Yes.
Go. Engage.
Yeah. Great.
Book it. CFAX.
Yeah. CFAX.
Thomas Cook.
Oh,
do you remember that?
Gosh.
Get a CFAX holiday.
CFAX. Jeez. There's flipping heck. That must.
If you
I think
don't
we
know
must
what
be,
CFAX is, Google it.
Yeah. And that must make us the last generation who grew up without the internet, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Because those then are digital natives.
Isn't it?
Aren't they?
Yeah, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Natively, yeah. Well, listen, I'm going to go on book a holiday.
Good.
So I'm going to do that and see if I can get onto CFAX. And in the meantime, if anyone wants to get involved, send us an email to curiousbrainfarts@gmail.com.
Boom.
Boom. Shakalaka. Right.
See you later, bruv.
Fine. Bye.
Have a nice holiday.
Thanks. You too. Bye.
Bye.
Curious Brain Thoughts.